Tasting
There he
some
is.
food.
Oh, you shaved. You look good today. As always, this man was in a competition this weekend. He's a real ninja warrior, folks. Mr. Jordan Fox.
Yes, I'm here. My hands aren't the greatest, but I'm here.
As always, sitting next to him, well, not next to him technically because he's in a different time zone, representing New York City, our producer extraordinaire, Mr. Joey Clax, 10-4 gambling. Make sure you guys listen to his picks. He's on fire right now, folks.
10-4, pal. 10-4.
That's good. And how about your locks?
4-4, pal. 4-4.
That's all I'm going to say. He just hit his parlay. He put down 1,000 and he won 12,000 this week, folks.
Venmo me money now.
Listen to
Now.
Joey Fox. He's not going to be giving you his locks all season because he realizes he's worth too much and his opinion is worth too much. So for the first 4 or 5 weeks of our gambling editions, you're going to get his locks. You're going to watch him hit at about an 80% rate on his locks, which tells you you're going to win big in Vegas if you listen to Mr. Joey Clax. But we're going to get to football later. What I want to start with today, boys, is that other sport that's really not getting much attention since the NFL came back. We're in the conference finals of the NBA. We've got big cities, big markets in this. We've got LA, we got Boston, we got Miami, Denver. But we've got some big cities in this, and it's some pretty good basketball. Game 2 in the Western Conference Finals came down to a buzzer beater from Anthony Davis. Jordan, what do you think of that series so far?
I believe that the Lakers have done their homework in terms of just watch the film of what the Clippers didn't do and also what the Clippers did do. And the Lakers are in go time. They're in kill mode.
Okay.
And all they want is a title, and it's not looking good. They may take off game 4. That's kind of normal to do.
You're going to do a gentleman sweep, you think? A gentleman sweep?
I say gentleman sweep, and I think it's going to be pretty decisive winning moving forward.
John, I know LA is your team. I know you've got a lot of stock in those boys, and this is pretty exciting time for you right now. I'm not going to lie. I'm a fan of the Lakers. I'm with LeBron after being a hater for many years when he didn't come to the Knicks and went to Miami. And I burned the shoes, and there's 40,000 people have seen it on YouTube. I'm a LeBron fan. I think we're watching greatness. I appreciated Jordan when I watched him, but you really didn't because you wanted your team to beat him all the time. This is like, I don't have a team to ever cheer against LeBron, so I'm just watching this guy now. And he's, even if you don't like him, he's a top 5 player of all time, maybe top 2 in a lot of people's opinions. And at 30, what is he, 37 right now? 38 almost? I don't know. He's up there. What do you think, John? Is this, are they going to sweep? I know you've been predicting the sweep, but is this like LeBron's, like, one of his greatest achievements right now?
It's going really great. The trash talk homer in me was talking all that smack about sweep. The game yesterday was a lot closer than I thought it would be. So I'm with Jordan, and I think it's going to be in 5. Not going to go full sweep. I mean, they put up a good fight, and AD put up a great shot. So it's going to be in 5. Nuggets don't really have a chance. Dwight Howard.
Yeah, Dwight Howard. Clax, Dwight Howard. Can I talk to you about Dwight Howard for a second?
You can talk to me about Dwight Howard for a second.
Okay, kind of funny when I sit here, it looks like I have his hair. So Dwight Howard is I've said this on this show many times, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer when his time comes. He signed with the Lakers this year when literally nobody wanted him. He's in like peak physical condition as a 6'11", very, very good defensive player still in my opinion. Not the best in the league like he used to be, but he's still very good for what he does compared to the other 6'11" centers in the league. He decided, I'll take a non-guaranteed contract to bet on myself that you will want me. And let me tell you, what is that? You hear that? We got someone knocking? He decided that he would bet on himself. And wow, did that turn out well for everybody, for him, for the team. Last series against the Rockets, they had no use for him. So he just became a cheerleader on the bench, Clax. He's sitting there waving his towel, not caring that he didn't play a lick. Comes in against Jokic, and he plays like a man. I mean, he played like a man. JaVale McGee's cool, like no disrespect. He's a 2-time champion with the Warriors, blah, 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 blah. Dwight Howard should get some minutes in this series. I think put him in for 25 minutes instead of 13 minutes. Joey Clax, do you think Dwight Howard's got something in the tank? Is he going to be a champion, Dwight Howard?
Dwight Howard is going to be a champion. Dwight Howard does have something left in the tank. Lakers win the series in 4.
Ooh, there's the sweep.
Lakers win the entire thing. Lakers win the chip in 5. Doesn't matter who they play, and all because of one word. That one word is Kobe. The whole thing took on a new meaning after that Anthony Davis shot, right? And just for clarity, LeBron's 35 years old.
35. Okay, he's 35. He missed a gray beard. I thought he was a little older. I don't.
Yeah, and the bald spot.
And the balls and the yeah. AD hit that game-winning 3 and screamed out Kobe, and that was
took on a whole new meaning
in the Mamba jersey.
Took on a whole new meaning, didn't it? Sure did.
It's crazy. As everyone knows, I'm a huge fan of this guy, Nikola Jokic. But yeah, no, I think the series could go 6 at the most for the Lakers. But that's about it. They're gonna maybe win 1, maybe win.
Which series? The one against the Heat or the Celtics? Because not this one. This one's gonna be a sweep.
It might be, but I've seen too much of the Nuggets in these playoffs to think that they're going to get swept.
Ball's going to come in?
I mean, they missed it being a 1-1 series by a game-winning 3. I mean, Jokic came out and scored 12 points to end the fourth quarter. It could have been a 1-1 series if AD didn't make a play that a top 5 player in the league makes. Don't get me wrong. They still lost. It's 2-0. They could come out and lose by 25 next game, and then they get swept in Game 4. I'd be with you, but I think I think they have enough to make it a 6-game series between him and Murray. I don't know if that means the Lakers take something off. They take their foot off the gas pedal a little bit in 1 or 2 games. Whatever the combination is, I just don't see it going that way. But that's just me. But I do see the Lakers easily getting past them, at least 5 or 6, but 6 at the most. What about the other side? Heat, Celtics. Heat came out strong, won the first 2 games. Celtics came back after some turmoil. Jordan, what do you think? Is this going to be a series, or are the Heat going to put this away?
Game 4 is going to decide the whole series. If the Celtics can't win Game 4, it's a wrap. It may go 6, but it won't matter. I see the first 1 to 3 wins. Honestly, it's gonna be that kind of game. The momentum, the confidence is still up in the air. Obviously, the Heat feel like they have the most confidence, but because the Celtics just won, they're not really afraid of being down 2-1. But at the same time, Game 4 is gonna say it all. It really is. So I did say Celtics in 6, so I'm going to own up to that. But if they don't win this game, my pick is out the window, and I'm wrong.
Holding to Celtics in 6. Joey Clax.
A lot of moving, man.
I said Celtics in 6 also, but I'm gonna have to default to Celtics in 7 just because of what's happening. Though I do agree with Jordan. Whoever wins Game 4 is going to decide everything. And if Boston doesn't win Game 4, they're done for.
But I mean, what I think, if Boston wins Game 4.
Oh, damn it! Sorry, it's Jimmy Butler's face. Sorry.
If they win Game 4, it just becomes a series at that point. So I don't think it's like, oh, it's a wrap. If Boston wins Game 4 now, it's like, oh, it's a lock. They're going to win this series. But you're right. If the Heat win it, it could be a gentleman's sweep in that series as well. John, what do you think? I know you've been kind of big on the Celtics.
I have, yeah, and I mean that Jordan's analysis on that is spot on. I think it's going to go 7. Have Celtics in 7, but I can't disagree with what either Clax or Jordan said. Like, if they don't win next game, it's going to be real hard for them to climb back, I think.
I don't think it matters who wins the next game. I think either way, the Heat are winning the series. Whether they win it in 6, they win it in 7, they win it in 5. The Heat are winning the series. They've got Eric Spoelstra, who I think is a guru. He is the coach that no one talks about. And you know what? I know if you look at the matchups, like I always talked about, like your 5-star, your 4-star players, and, you know, you got Jimmy Butler. He's Jordan, is he a 5-star or is he a 4.5 to you?
Jimmy Butler?
Jimmy Butler. I got him. I stumped him for one. I finally stumped one of them on him. What do you think?
5.
He's a 5.
He's a 5.
Is he a full superstar 5 to you, Clax?
Yep.
What about you, Jordan? Jonathan?
He's 4.5 still for me.
I knew you were going to say that. That's what I personally think he's a 5. I think if he was in Philly would have been in the finals this year if he was on that squad with, the Embiid and Simmons, and that would have been a trio that would have been hard to mess with because you have him as a leader. I don't trust those other two guys at all, but Jimmy Butler, I believe in. But he's a much better fit with this team. You know what's amazing about this team? I said Spoelstra. Who stepped down for Spoelstra to be the head coach? Pat Riley. Now, Pat Riley is still the president and VP of everything in that league. He looks like he's 112 and a troll that lives under a bridge. And let me tell you, his hair's not even gelled. It's just like natural grease from being old, like slicked back now. Like it's like frizzled, chiseled, whatever you call old man Miami hair, But man, he put together a roster. I mean, he's got, Dragic. He's got Bam Adebayo that no one knew about. He's drafts guys like Tyler Hero that comes off the bench for 35 minutes a game and puts up numbers. Sharpshooter. Duncan Robinson. Come on, I love that guy. He's one of my favorite players. He's like the next Klay Thompson, I'm telling you. He just has to play a little better defense. He's a play a little better defense. Duncan, you put him on that team. You put him on that Warriors team, he's going to score 30 a game. He's sick. I love Duncan Robinson. I'm on the train. I want to see him in the finals against the Lakers. That's what I want to see. I want to see him on the big stage and see what happens. I think it's Miami Lakers in the finals, and I can't wait for it. Spoelstra against LeBron. That's the masterminds against each other. Like if you're a basketball fan, you have to appreciate the X's and O's and genius and all that. But all right, let's go on to some baseball. We're almost at the playoff time for baseball. Finally, Clax, you got the logo behind your shoulder over there.
Mm-hmm.
Last time we talked baseball was about a little over a week ago. Your Yanks had lost 9 out of 10 games, 14 out of 17, whatever it was, something silly. Remember that?
Yeah, now they've won 40 straight ever since then.
They haven't lost a game since our last
Yeah, they've won 40 straight.
They have not lost a game since our last show. I can't believe all fired up's the good luck charm with me as a host for the Yankees, but hey, you're welcome. They haven't lost a game in at least 12, 13 games. And they play doubleheader.
Except for yesterday, but yeah. Until yesterday.
That game doesn't count. So Luke Voigt has 21 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
MVP candidate, by the way.
It's amazing what happens when they get, their 3, 4, and 5 hitter back, right?
Luke Voigt shouldn't be on pace for 70 home runs. That's amazing.
No, he shouldn't.
Or 80 home runs, whatever he's on pace for right now, in a full season. The Yankees, yeah. So now they're right back in it. They're in the 4 seed, I think, as of now. There's some pretty exciting things happening. Your Dodgers clinched, John. The Padres clinched the first time in 14 years they're going to be in the playoffs, which is it's pretty big. And then you got the White Sox, the number 1 seed in the American League. I don't know. They've got. Do you think they could do something? Like any of you guys think the White Sox? They got Eloy Jimenez and the rookie Luis Robert, and then they have 2 MVP candidates that no one talk about, Jose Abreu and Tim Anderson. He's leading the league in batting, runs scored, stolen base. I mean, it's wild. So do you think they have a chance to put up some crazy upsets and make it to the World Series?
Yeah, absolutely. I told you,
John?
I told you before, one of our first episodes, the Black Sox were gonna show some stuff, and my team was incorrect. In my mind, the team that I was thinking of was correct. I think it's 2020, so anything can happen. But they have a good squad.
John, I got a question for you. Who's your National League MVP right now? Is it still Tatis Jr.? He's been tanking the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's gone.
Or is it someone on your Dodgers? Is your dude?
It's good. Yeah, I mean, it's such a messed up question because my answer is going to be Mookie Betts. If Tatis kept his how he was playing going, it would absolutely be Tatis. I said it before, it was Tatis, but he slumped pretty hard recently. So
that's why I was asking. I don't disagree with you necessarily. I'll be honest. That's why I asked you. I gave you the alley-oop. I think, believe it or not, you know who I think is right up there with him? If you look at the stats, Manny Machado, the guy standing next to Tatis. That's scary. That's what's scary about the Padres right now. Jordan, I got a question for you. National League Cy Young. Yu Darvish, Jacob deGrom. Yu Darvish has more wins. deGrom, I mean, those Ks per 9. He's got the best ERA in the league. He's not Yu Darvish. What do you think?
When it comes to baseball, I'm about production. So I'm going to go with the K's, DeGrom.
Great. That's 3 in a row against DeGrom.
Oh, yeah. I think it's more important, and it's one of those where you can't control. If you're pitching in the top, you can't control what happens in the bottom. So, hey, I do my part, do your part. So I'm all about ERA.
Clax, if DeGrom wins his 3rd Cy Young in a row, which would be something pretty historic, is that his lock into the Hall of Fame right there? Back Cy Youngs.
It's pretty
good season. A couple good seasons before that too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's pretty impossible to deny him with that, right? Yeah.
Are we gonna get our? I did it, John.
Yeah, he did it, John. He did it. John, he did it.
Johnny did it. This conversation. Are we gonna get a 3rd Hall of Famer to go with Tom Seaver and Mike Piazza? We're gonna do it. We're gonna get a 3rd one in 60, 70 years. Jonathan, this team's been around for 70 years. They've recognized 2 players on the Mets. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. I watched like 3 Yankees I watched growing up are already in the Hall of Fame. That's just from my 90s team. It's hard. It's hard. Shane, Justin Bieber, American League. I guess he's the lock for Cy Young there.
Justin Bieber?
Oh yeah, Justin Bieber. That guy. I don't see how.
I know you're a believer.
I'm a believer.
Yeah,
you are.
And the American League, the MVP could go to a lot of people. It could go to Mike Trout, but that team's kind of doing nothing. It could go. I don't know. Like I said, a couple.
Could it?
Mike Trout?
I don't think so. Yeah, no.
What
is Mike? Yeah, so. Tee those numbers up. What did Mike Trout do this year? I'm not impressed.
You want to be impressed?
I'd love to be impressed. Other than name his kids something stupid, what did Mike Trout do?
Here's
see 189 at bats, 40 runs, 55 hits, 16 homers, 43 RBIs.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I say 16 homers, 43 RBIs in less than 43 games.
Quietly.
Always quietly. I'm in the West Coast and it's quiet. We don't even hear about it. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah.
You know what's more exciting? Last thing for baseball here, before we move on to a clack attack, folks, so get ready for that. Albert Pujols just passed Willie Mays, 5th.
See, I heard about that.
And he hit 2 home runs that game.
I heard about that. That was like his 4th and 5th of the season. I heard about those.
Yep. He's shot, obviously, but he's just, because of the DH, they just let him hang around for a couple extra years to, give these owners an out for their bad contracts for guys in their 40s. No disrespect. I'm kind of glad we get to still watch him, I guess. It's a little depressing, but yeah, he's top 5 home runs and he's top 3 RBIs all time. That's pretty big offensive numbers.
Before we get off baseball, I just don't know if you guys saw, a little bit related to my shirt that I'm wearing, but what's his face on the Reds? Why is his name escaping me right now? Trevor Bauer wore trash can cleats. Did you guys see that? He had cleats with trash cans all over them. And I just want to say that's amazing.
Some more still hating on the Astros. Yep, I know Jordan didn't want to hear that. All right, Clax.
Yeah.
Do you have any gripes this week, or do you want to give shout-outs? What are you trying to do on your the use for your your time here on your Clax?
I got an interesting one for you here, right? I want to talk about the Red Zone Network for a moment.
Woo.
some
Okay.
personal feelings on that, so I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Some very personal feelings on this, right? Now, I see Jordan's reaction here. He got a little poof, like, where's he going with this, right? Like, you took personal, heartfelt feeling toward this, right? So we had my wife's coworker came over to the house this past weekend, and I never met her before. Lovely young lady.
Shout out to wife's coworker. Continue.
Right. And she came over with her son and her husband, and apparently I was putting our kid down for a nap, and apparently while I was putting the kid down for a nap, is your husband? He watch sports? Yeah, no. He watches football. Oh, he watches football, huh? Oh yeah, no. I see what? Oh, he's into football, huh? Oh yeah. He watches the Red Zone. Oh yeah. Oh, I don't like the Red Zone, the guy says.
Okay.
Look at Jordan's reaction. Look at Jordan. Get out of my house, right? So my wife tells me this, and I said to her, I said, "What? What did he say?" So I don't know what to make of this. So I said to her, I said, "What did you say to him?" She said, "I didn't really know what to say to him." She said, I said, "Sweetie, I don't really know. I'm dumbfounded by this." You know, I said,
Does your wife like the Red Zone Network?
No, but she's a girl, right?
She doesn't care,
she doesn't care. It's different. It's totally different. Big difference. It's different, right? Big difference, and it's different. So I said, I said, sweetie, this doesn't make any sense to me. I've never known another man to say something so stupid. I just don't understand a comment like that. And she's like, no, this isn't the first person who said this. This isn't the first man who said this to me before. I said, what are you talking about? She goes, there was when we were dating, before we were engaged, before we were married, but when we were dating, there was a guy I was working with, and we were talking about whatever. And I said, yeah, my boyfriend's over at my house watching football all weekend. And he was like, oh, do you watch the game with him? And she said, no, normally I'll watch a game with him, but, my boyfriend started watching this thing called the Red Zone, and I find it really confusing, and I can't watch it. And the guy says, oh, your boyfriend watches the Red Zone. Tell him to grow up.
Okay. I'd like to step in here.
So I lost it on my wife. I was like, this is a clack attack for this week. I don't understand. She's like, I just gave you ammunition for the show, didn't I? I said, yes, you did.
I hope this episode gets to the gentleman, because I'd like to state a little something about the Red Zone Network.
She made it a point to tell me that she wasn't going to tell her or the guy that this show exists.
No. Shout out to wife's coworker. We like her. No disrespect. We're shouting her out. But here's my take on the Red Zone. I think, actually, hold on one second. Okay, here's my take. I think the Red Zone Network is actually one of the greatest media platforms ever created. Ever. I think it's something that changed the game, because the biggest issue with football is it's all at one time. And unless you have like the NFL network packages and 12 TVs,
thank you.
You can't. And even then you can't, because they only give you 4 cable boxes, or you got to start paying a lot of money for extra cable boxes. So it's really impossible to watch unless you work for a network or you are in a bar, to watch all the games at the same time. So what they did was create all the exciting moments, and they take advantage of fantasy sports because of it. They take advantage of hometown teams. I'm a Giants fan. I don't really want to watch the Giants and the Bears entire game last week when they have the great games on. But let me tell you how awesome it was that every time there was a red zone or a big play, I saw it. I didn't miss anything from my team. Like, I saw everything I wanted to see, even a field goal attempt, because there was nothing else happening at the time. The things you don't see, 1st and 10 on your 20, cool, unless it's a big play, and then they'll flash back to it in the next 30 seconds. So it's one of those things that I'll give you my biggest gripe about the Red Zone Network. I have one big gripe about the Red Zone Network. You want to hear what it is? It's not accessible. It's not accessible. The NFL made the greatest thing that they ever had inaccessible. And I have to bootleg and download it from, these websites from Europe to be able to stream it on my computer to then airplay it onto my TV. That's how I have to watch Red Zone because there's no way, even with a cable package, like my dad's sitting here with Cox cable out here, and it's not offered as an app for my TV for us to watch. And so they make it impossible for their best product. And if they were smart, which they've proven not to be with a lot of their marketing over the past 5 years, but push this network. This thing's for 1 year, put it in everyone's house for a year. You put that in everyone's house for a year? Granted, Fox and CBS wouldn't be thrilled. That's probably why it's not happening, honestly.
Well, I'll give a shout out to Verizon Fios, man. I have a sports package bundle, and it's thrown in there, part of the deal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. We don't have that New York City style Verizon Fios. Boy, do I miss that box in my closet. That was awesome.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's move on to football. We're talking about Red Zone. I think let's move on. There's some big injuries this week. It was kind of awful, actually, watching Mr. Bosa on the 49ers tear an ACL. My man, Saquon Barkley, that guy, done. ACL, done. Christian McCaffrey, maybe the most exciting running back in the league, high ankle sprain, they say, in at least 4 weeks, probably going to go on IR. Jimmy G, ankle, maybe going to play, but he's going to be hobbling for a while. Cortland Sutton out for the season, star wide receiver for the Broncos, and their quarterback's out for at least 5 weeks, Drew Lock. I mean, that's a lot just on top. Oh, Will Fuller never even showed up last week. His hamstring shot. Bruce Irvin, isn't he on your squad, Drew? I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. There's offensive lineman Scherf from that Washington football team. He's a top.
Tyrod Taylor,
chest pain, whatever that means. That's scary. No, it's no good. It's one of those weeks you're like, yikes! Like, just get off the field and get home, and let's move on. But let's move on to some of the more positive things. I'm going to bring up a couple things, and I'll let you guys hit on them afterwards. One of them, my New England Patriots, I predicted this year were going to be good. I still say they're going to win the division. They put up a fight against Seattle. Yes, Russell Wilson put up 5 touchdowns, so that's why Seattle's awesome and why they won. But Cam Newton put up almost 400 yards. He had 3 touchdowns of his own. He looked really good. We got Minshew Mania, Clax. Minshew Mania. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about Minshew Mania. And then I got a question I want to start for all 3 of you guys. John, you're going to go first on this one. Cowboys, Falcons. Just real quickly, did the Falcons blow it or did the Cowboys take it?
The Falcons absolutely blew it.
Jordan.
Did you?
Question. Hold on. Same question.
Cowboys took it.
Joey Clax?
I've never seen people run away from an onside kick, so Falcons blew it.
Maybe it had the COVID on it. They were nervous.
They had the Covies.
I definitely agree with the Atlanta showing up just like they did in the Super Bowl against Brady. Dan Quinn needs to be fired, but we'll get to that. John, what were you want to say about this?
I think there was a stat that I heard. You probably have it somewhere. The Falcons, like first time in history that a team didn't have a turnover, and that was it.
39 points.
39 scored 39 points and didn't have a turnover. Who lost the game?
How many?
So the Falcons absolutely lost that game.
440
and 1.
Yeah, now
1. Dan Quinn needs to be fired. How many assistants do you get rid of before you blame the guy in charge? He's not a leader of men. Like we talked about, you need to be a leader of men. That guy is not a leader of men. I'm sorry he did. No, that team is stacked. You told me, Jordan, that team is stacked. And that guy, he blew it in the Super Bowl. He blew it last year, starting 0-6.
I'm telling you, anyone listening to this, and the 3 of you, tee up the onside kick and watch it.
Oh, I did.
Everyone in a black uniform is running away from the football.
Well, it was like it was a kickoff and they were or a punt and they were waiting for it to take the extra. You're like,
and anybody that's ever played football knows you attack the football.
Have you ever seen an onside kick without a tee?
No, that was the most. No, that was the most impressive. That was the most impressive onside kick I've ever seen.
He just spun it like
I don't care. I don't care how confused you are by what's going on. You attack the football. It's just what you do, and you're a professional.
I've never seen anything like.
There's no excuse. There's no excuse for what happened.
I have another question. Jets, Giants, or other? Who's going to have the first pick in the draft next year? Jordan.
I voted twice. Jets.
Jonathan.
I'm going to go with the Jets. They're absolutely terrible.
Joey Clax.
I mean, Jonathan took my vote, but yeah.
Jets. I mean, I think it's going to be the Jets. I think it's going to be Jets and Giants 1-2. I think it's what it's going to be, and it's going to be one or the other. I don't know. I think there is a chance that they're both going to have 2 wins this year and lose 14 games. I think the Giants have a couple better skilled players maybe, but, like, the Jets are going to lose every game that they have Adam Gase as the head coach. So if they get rid of him by, like, week 6 or 7, they might win with whoever the interim coach is, like, for a little pep. Kind of like what Cleveland. And is Greg Williams still the D coordinator there?
Don't care.
Because he's the guy that filled in for when they fired Hugh Jackson. He was a nice little interim coach in Cleveland before they fired him again. But all right, what do you have to say about this week, Jonathan? What stands out to you from this week in the NFL?
Honestly, the biggest thing to me that I took away from yesterday, there were some great games. The biggest thing, and I was messaging Jordan about this, I've always kind of made fun of Russell Wilson.
But Jordan, but not me and Clax? What's up with that?
Because it was specifically about Russell Wilson. I didn't want you guys – it was a private conversation.
Wow. Wow, Clax.
And so –
I think Jordan – I've always
kind of made fun of Russell. But, I mean, after the game, his first comments were – congratulating and praising Cam Newton. His second comment was giving a shout out to James White and his family. And like the third was something else. It was just like a selfless after game interview. Like I just found like a whole new respect for the guy. Like just he didn't want to talk about himself until.
We know Russell Wilson's a nice guy. He's always been a nice guy. He says and does all the right things. Give me something new. Come on. Like, how about he scored 5 touchdowns? Who cares about him praising people? He always prays. Have you not seen like the skits on ESPN where they would make fun of him as the most vanilla guy? You could ask him any question and he'd be like,
no, like, you had to watch the interview. It's
I know he's
it was something
guy,
that affected me,
and I think.
But I also think that Cam had a bad read at the last play of that game, and they had a chance if he would have swung to the outside. But that's that for that game.
That 398 and bunch of rushing touchdowns. Cam's a beast. He's going to be top 5 MVP guy this year. Like I said, Patriots are winning the division without a doubt. Those Bills picks. Get out of here. Get out of here with the Bills. What do you think about your Buffalo Bills, John?
They're doing okay for now. That's how it always is. They do all right, and then eventually they will not do all right.
Yeah. What's up, Jordan?
Yeah. So actually, I had a question for John.
Okay. I've been waiting for this one. So
yeah, and actually goes. We did have a little conversation after that Seahawks-Pats game, but I finally got him to commit. He is actually a Los Angeles Rams fan. He is going to stick with them. And I think what's most important about that is because I didn't plan this at all. He came to me. He said, you know what, I'm a Rams fan. I'm like, okay, great. So I think we should all be quiet and listen to John. Who do you have next week? Rams play the Bills. Who you got?
The Rams. I'm not starting the Bills. I'm taking out the Bills defense in fantasy because of that. So, yeah, I'm not playing the Bills defense in that game.
All right, Sean McVay, man, that play calling is something else, man. Good luck. Robert Woods, I thought they weren't going to do well, but that play calling is ridiculous. It doesn't matter who's there.
Isn't it amazing how when people score for the Rams, there's nobody within 20 yards of that player every time?
Every time.
Because he's a genius. He
every play is open field.
That's what Belichick is on defense. I'm telling you. He schemes to the opponent. He's like, oh, this is their weakness. Cool. I'm going to make sure my guy's in the other spot. And let me tell you, the Rams are good. And the Rams are a contender for the Super Bowl this year. I don't care what
No,
anyone
they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. No.
Yes, they are. No, they're not. You want to know why? I'll tell you.
No, I don't. They're
It's
not.
because of their defense. They got Aaron Donald right up the middle. They got guys intercepting the ball all over the place. They're good. They got a pick in the end zone.
But I mean, that division. What do you think about the Cardinals' offense the first 2 games?
Yeah, great. They're not going to be as good as the Rams, and neither are the 49ers. The Seahawks will.
I thought Sean McVay was the reason why they were contenders for the Super Bowl.
They are. And Sean McVay's because he's an offensive genius. Makes the best out. You think Jared Goff would be good on someone else's team? Yeah, Sean McVay is great.
No.
I love Sean McVay. You know that. Not just because he's cute, you know.
I'll admit, though, Rams will be
10 wins. 10 wins.
At best, second in the division.
Wow.
That's what I said too.
I
So
changed
we're
my
on the same
pick. I
page.
thought it would be the worst. But
You guys said they were at a lock though for their prediction of 9 wins and not any over. I think both of you guys said that. I said the over.
No,
on that.
not this guy. I said double-digit wins for the Rams since the season started. All day. I think they're a 10-win team, but I think the Seattle team is a 12-win team. That's what I said. And I think or they're going to be at least 1 or 2 apart. Like the Seattle's going to be ahead of them by at least 1. But no, the Arizona's good. I think their offense is nice. Their defense is decent, but no, they're not going to keep up with the big boys in the division. I think
And we're not going to be able to see it for a few weeks because I think they're playing not so great teams coming up for like the next 3 weeks too.
Big
So.
5, we got you guys. Or the Cardinals.
Yep.
Big 5, we got the Cardinals.
That's the best division. The worst division in football is the NFC East. I mean, you can win 7 games, you're going to win the division.
So they're called the NFC least, remember?
Yeah, I know that. Is that like they were one of the worst divisions ever last year? Is this year even worse, Clax?
Possibly. It's possibly even worse this year.
So
But I don't even want to talk about how awful it is, how awful the NFC East is, because you might even be able to win 6 games and win that, and the Cowboys will win at least 6 games. The Cowboys will win 8 games. Cowboys will go 500 and win that division, and who cares? But I'll tell you what I was impressed by yesterday. I was impressed by the fact that the Seahawks, which are top 3, possibly top 2 teams in the NFC, were in a fantastic Sunday night game with the New England Patriots that came down to the wire. And I was really over the top impressed with the New England Patriots. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I was really, really, really impressed with the Patriots across the board.
At some point, you're going to be like, you know what? I should have probably said to Ethan that the
hold on. The defense of nobodies, a bunch of guys who you never heard of, a bunch of captains that were, that were on the team last season, but, sure as heck weren't the captains, are now the captains of the team, and a bunch of guys you never heard of are keeping up with the Seattle Seahawks, just a stacked team, an absolutely stacked team, and played with them for 4 quarters, for 59 minutes and 55 seconds yesterday.
It's going to be fun when they go home and they start playing against the Dolphins, and they start playing against the Jets, and they're going to be like, oh, wow, this is – okay, so we'll take these games real quick.
But the problem is Cam's going to get hurt in the middle of the second quarter next week.
I know. That's what you've been saying week 3. This is it. So if he gets over the hump for like maybe 2 weeks – like, if he gets to week 6, are you going to finally be like – and he doesn't have any help.
No, but I'm going to tell you this right now. If I am wrong and Cam does not get hurt, I am such a believer. However, you put him in this power I and just keep running him like that, it's just not going to work out. It's just not going to work out.
It's a dominant play, so it's just so, like, you can't help yourself.
I get it.
I thought it was over personally.
I get it. But you load up the box and you see what Seattle did. It's just,
We were 1 for 3 in that play in the goal line. And the 1 was the last play.
It was an amazing game. I mean, I loved watching it. And I hope Cam doesn't get hurt. I found myself rooting for Cam last
I don't think
night.
he will. I don't think he will. I think he's bigger than the linebackers. I think
And he is huge. I mean, you could see how big he is.
Yeah, no,
And I remember when the Super Bowl when the Broncos played that Super Bowl and the Super Bowl was in New York. We did that gig in New York, and I met Cam, and he's huge.
okay, I didn't get to watch every snap of that game, but how many? I know he gets hit, but how many like hard hits you were like, ooh, like did he take in that game? More than 2? Because a lot of times he runs, and he runs into his lineman, and he just kind of like takes it and just goes like tips over the pile.
He didn't take any ones that you were like, he didn't take any bad ones like that.
That's my point, and that's his new
Zero.
Yeah,
Zero.
He said he worked for the whole year on how, with Russell Wilson and some of these guys, Kyle Murray he worked with, how to not get hit. And his slides are nice now. He's sliding like a baseball player when he does do some of these runs. So I think it's a little better. But if he gets hurt, that team is whatever. I mean, they're just another team in the division.
But it's
not Cam.
It's interesting that I found myself rooting for. I wasn't rooting for the Patriots, but I wasn't hating them the same. And I definitely wasn't rooting for the Bucs. I think
we're back to more underdog-style Patriots, and Cam Newton signed for $1 million. He could have been on any team in the league, and no one wanted him. And I think what is going on? New York Football Giants, they beat a contender in that division, maybe a playoff team in that division if they had Cam Newton instead of Daniel Jones. Let Daniel Jones sit down for 2 years, watch this guy play, and maybe in 3 years he'd be ready to be a rock star at 26, 27. But you know what? No, $1 million. We're not going to take a chance. We're not going to do that. No, we're going to sign people, these backup old men quarterbacks. Like, who did Dallas take? The guy from Cincinnati, Red Rocket. Dalton.
Whoa, don't talk down about Red Rocket.
Like $5-6 million to be the backup, and Cam Newton is making $1 million? Get out of here. Like, it's blasphemy. No, I can't have it. You know who did have a good week? Big Ben Roethlisberger. He's looking pretty good. Steelers are going to be good. That division is going to be good. Jordan, what do you think of that division?
Division's always good.
Ravens? Browns got a big win this week?
I believe the Ravens have that division pretty comfortably. The Steelers are just well coached. They're disciplined, and they're going to win the games they should. And the games they shouldn't, they're going to fight for it, and they're going to put you in a tough position to make a top play, and the Ravens are going to do that. But the Browns are so inconsistent. The Bengals are the Bengals. I'll just say that. And Baker Mayfield is not going to have a Bengals defense in front of him every week. So I'm not going to assume that that's going to happen again. And by the way, Joe Burrows, I watched that game, and then I watched the highlights again. Even though he threw for 60-plus attempts, those 37 completions were amazing. They're great plays. Like, I know you could say, garbage time, garbage this, garbage that. He made that, a 5-point
You just say
game.
Garbage? Wait, did I hear the word garbage? Ding, 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 ding.
I didn't say Giants. I was talking about the Bengals. But Joe Burrow was very impressive, man. Like, he was extremely impressive.
I give it
That's
up.
what I said. I said last week. Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrows is
he's
going to
been
be
playing his heart out.
No, he's going to be a stud. He's going to be a stud. It just stinks that his team, he has, AJ Green got to put up for him, Is it just me? Like, week 1 he didn't. Week 2 he's doing a little. But AJ Green, that's a great target to have out there, in my opinion. Joe Mixon's a great running back. Who's blocking, though?
Seriously.
Can we get to one other guy? You guys, we haven't talked about him at all this week. Kirk Cousins? I told you he's a bottom 10 quarterback in the league. And I'm sticking to that. I mean, he had under 100 yards, 3 interceptions. He's not a good quarterback. Someone tell me I'm wrong. Go, someone, anybody. I mean, he just backed up what I said he was going to do this week. He's going to be worse. And look, who got a win this week? And another pretty decent game. Mitchell Trubisky.
He's probably worse than Baker Mayfield. That's all I have to say.
Wow. On a scale of good to Baker, he's now below Baker.
He's below Baker. It's like the Mendoza line of football. It's the Mayfield line.
I've got Baker a little bit ahead of Kirk. But Jordan, you think in your head, Kirk's still, what is he, top 10 quarterback? Top 5? Top 3?
He's a top 15 quarterback. And
top 15?
Yes, and I'm not going to define him out of 1 week. And on top of that, if he was worse than Baker, he would not have had the most revolutionary contract of all time. And there's a reason why he got that. And at the same time, I'm embarrassed to have to defend this. I'm embarrassed. It makes me uncomfortable right now. So simple, so easy to comprehend. Because someone has an awful week does not determine who he is. Russell Wilson threw 5 picks in the NFC Championship. Okay, that's 1 week.
Yeah, but then Russell Wilson has put up 30 good playoff games after that. So you know what? Let me tell you what Kirk Cousins puts up. You're Mr. Show me rings. Put it up. Be a champion. Put up playoff numbers. What has Kirk done in the playoffs?
Has Mitchell Trubisky been to the playoffs?
He's been a lot less years than Kirk.
Has he been to the playoffs?
No, I don't.
Exactly.
This is only, his 3rd year?
No, Kirk's been 3 times.
Right. And what has he done every time he got there? Tanked and lost. Every time. Tanked and lost. And literally 2 of the 3 times, one of them wasn't because of him. I'll give him one of them. He put up 250 and a couple touchdowns and whatever. The other 2 were because of him. No, the other 2 were because of him. No, the other 2 were because of him. He's no good. I could probably name.
When was the first time he was in the playoffs? Do you even know?
You want me to name 15 quarterbacks right now better than him? I'll give you 15 right now. Real quick.
RG3 hurt himself against the Seahawks. Never forget that. It wasn't his fault.
I'm going to come out next week. We're going to come out. Here we go, gentlemen. We're going to rank our quarterbacks 1 through 30, starting quarterbacks. We're going to come out.
Let's go 1 through 20. Make it easy. Don't worry about the last 12.
Well, here's the thing. 1 through 20, then Kirk's not on my list. We don't get to discuss them.
Then it'd be easy.
But I'm curious I'm more curious about the bottom 15. We can even leave off the top 15. I want your bottom 15 quarterbacks in the league. I want to know 15 guys you think are worse. Because I'm looking at their list of top 30 that they put out when the season started, and they got a bunch of guys below him that I personally put ahead of him. Ryan Tannehill, I'll put him ahead of him. Josh Allen, Kyler Murray. You would put these guys below? Would you put Josh Allen below Kirk Cousins? I wouldn't. Jonathan?
I think no, I wouldn't, but
I had to.
It's unfair.
Kyler Murray was ranked they had him ranked number 12 going into the season on their list of top 30 quarterbacks, and I thought that was the funniest thing ever because I'm looking at the guys that are below him, and it's Matt Ryan's below him, Tannehill's below him, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray. I'll take Joe Burrow over him. Are you kidding me?
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. They got Jared Goff below him? The guy who took his team to a Super Bowl? You know who they have below him? Daniel Jones. I agree on that one. Daniel Jones is garbage. That guy. But a lot of people think Daniel Jones is better than him. I don't know. Gardner Minshew all day. Let's go, Clax. Give me some Gardner Minshew.
Guy's epic.
What do you want as your quarterback right now? Gardner Minshew or Kirk Cousins? One word. Go.
Minshew magic. That's one word. It's hyphenated.
Fox.
Minshew magic.
2020 season right now. Week 3 going on for the rest of the season. Who do you want as your quarterback, Fox? Minshew or Cousins? Jonathan. I might have a Minshew sleep here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Minshew?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Who would you guys rather have? Teddy Bridgewater or Kirk Cousins? Clax. For the 2020 season, right now, rest of the season, this is your guy. Who do you want?
Teddy Bridgewater.
Jonathan, who do you want?
Bridgewater.
Jordan.
So this conversation doesn't include me.
We've officially stumped the fox. We finally got him.
I don't think stump's the word.
We stumped him. He can't. I mean, how about Jared Goff? Jared Goff?
Oh, no.
Cousins?
No one answer this. No.
No one answer this, he says.
I don't need to answer that question.
That's your hometown team. I forgot. Of course, you're going to take
this is without Sean McVay, right?
No, this is. I mean, I don't know. How do you say without Sean McVay? But we've only seen him with Sean McVay.
Exactly.
So are we putting him on? You saying putting him? Who would I rather have as my quarterback for the Vikings? Is that the question? Would be better for you, Jordan?
Period. Coach, no coach.
Period. Then I'm taking Jared Goff, the guy that's been to the Super Bowl.
Oh my. Okay.
Because you like those things, remember? Super Bowl rings, baby.
No rings, not appearances. Okay.
Oh, but what does Kirk get for first round exits?
What does Trent Dilfer get for getting a ring?
I don't know. He beat the Giants. Oh no, he beat the Giants. Yeah, that sucked. That was why you gotta bring up that? Why you gotta bring up that Super Bowl? That was our Kerry Collins Trent Dilfer versus Kerry Collins in the Super Bowl, folks. Could you imagine a flopper like that today?
No, well, yeah. That 9-6 win by Brady and the Rams.
But at least you had Tom Brady. Like, you had at least a name in there. Jesus, it was Kerry Collins, but that didn't hold up well, that Super Bowl. That's when Ray Lewis ran crazy. I remember I was in high school, and I knew how bad it was going to be that Ray Lewis was going to beat my hometown Giants, the first Super Bowl I could watch, like as a kid that's old enough to remember it. And I got the hell out of town. I flew to Florida, to Boca Raton, Delray Beach, to stay with my grandfather for the weekend and watch the Super Bowl with him and his old man friends. Just like, watching Tiki get crushed. And, that was bad. Remember Ron Dane?
Of course.
Oh, Ron Dane and Tiki, the original Thunder and Lightning. It was a fun team to watch. They overachieved, like all the Giants Super Bowl teams. Honestly, they shouldn't have even been there. I don't know how Kerry Collins and Ike Hilliard and Amani Toomer make the Super Bowl, but they did. They did. But yeah, thanks for bringing up that memory.
You're welcome.
Clax, anything else on the NFL you want to touch on here?
I mean, you really drove it home with the Kirk Cousins stuff there. So, I mean, fine.
We just see the segment every week of him going off on Kirk Cousins for 5 minutes, so we just get it out of his system.
Yeah.
No, I'm done. This was it. I got it out of my system. I made my point. Kirk Cousins, actually, I should say, made my point for me. I'm going to let Kirk Cousins continue to make the point.
Please.
Jordan, when Kirk Cousins proves me wrong, I look forward to the I told you so. That's what I'm saying.
No, I won't, because it's I don't need to state the obvious. I'm not entertaining that.
I don't know what the obvious is.
I'm going to need you to bring it up, though.
All right. Well, we have to figure out somehow a Trubisky-Kirk bet by the end of the year, some donuts. I don't know how we're going to work it out, but
I do owe you donuts for David Johnson. He's on my fantasy. I got cocky.
You got a little cocky for DJ.
I owe you donuts.
And of course, don't forget about the donuts for somebody not starting week 1 for the Red Washington football team. We'll let that one slide if you want. But I love that they show him warming up, though, pregame every week. Like it's like supposed to be like the hype up the team.
He looks good, doesn't he? He looks good.
He looks good.
Is he in uniform as the number 2, or is he the number 3?
Oh, he's 2.
He's 2?
Oh,
it's not the guy from the Panthers, Allen?
Oh, the guy from Desert Mountain High School. No.
No?
No.
Okay. I hope Haskins stays healthy for the sake of Alex Smith's kids.
Yeah, for the sake of the Giants.
Oh, no. I want the Giants. I want the Giants to go 0-16. I told you that already. I want the blonde hair flocking out of the back of the blue and red. That's what I want. I want Trevor Lawrence, and I want a real quarterback. I don't want this Daniel Jones guy. I don't believe in him. I don't believe in Duke football players. I like Duke basketball players. I don't like Duke football players. Is there something wrong with that, Jonathan? I don't know. I think Duke football players, that's not a thing. Jordan, do you have any final thoughts for this week?
I do have some final thoughts. I debated on dialing 911 just now for Kirk Cousins, but I'm going to be more positive, and there's a 911 I'd like to talk about. Very, very positive. Mr. Russell Wilson, 9 touchdowns, 1-1, 11 incompletions for the year. Only 2 people have done that in history. The first 2, please give me that. There's the picture. I was looking for that picture. Only 2 QBs have done 9 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks. One, I'm sure you guys would never guess this. There's the obvious one. There's the one that no one would ever guess. The one no one would ever guess, Pat Mahomes. Who would think of that, right? The one we all would guess, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Of course he would do that, right? So
Fitzmagic? We love Fitzmagic. Oh.
Fitzmagic.
9 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks. That's what he does.
That's what he does. That's what he does.
That's unheard of. But yeah.
That's what I got.
Nice.
Clax, you got any final thoughts this week?
I mean, since you had Homer and Fitzmagic up there, I forgot to mention earlier that listening to my Homer hometown radio this morning, and they're talking about how possibly the Jets are trying to tank this season, and that's why that's why everything's happening the way it's. Oh, my. You want to talk about listening to Homer hometown on the radio? Jeez.
Okay, Arizona hometown radio out here. They've got them in the Super Bowl already.
Oh my God! It's like Adam Gase paid somebody to like actually phone that in or something. Is that
okay?
disgusting?
Over under 6 games for Adam Gase.
So final thought. I'm no longer a Jets fan. That's my final thought.
Are you a fan free agent?
I'm a fan free agent
for the NFL.
I'm an NFL fan free agent.
Like I am in the NBA. It's pretty.
Yes.
Cool. I've actually held on to it for a year. This is going into my 2nd year as a fan free agent. I haven't picked a team yet.
For Brooklyn.
And I'm good with it.
I don't know if I can go Brooklyn. It's a little too close to home for me right now in the NBA. And I really, really don't like Kyrie Irving.
You know what? I decided who my team is. Are you ready for it?
Oh, he got it. Wow, you're so much more decisive than me.
Bills Mafia.
You ready? My team is the Red Zone.
Yes.
That's my team.
I will be on your team cheering for you every single
That's my
week.
team.
John, what's your final thought this week?
Honestly, while we were here, it's halftime in the Monday Night Football game. And my final thought is how hilarious in true 2020 fashion, they had the Killers play during the halftime show, and they performed the song from, can't even think of what year, Mr. Brightside. I just don't know why.
Because it's the only song people know at this point from them.
I would have rather have watched commercials. I would rather have watched commercials. Like it just made no sense.
The Killers had a hit in like 2006. I remember doing SNL and like Good Morning America promoting the same song over and over. And then it came out in Madden that year. And I was like, if I hear this song one more time, like I'm going to, and that's, So what's the score in that game, John?
17-17.
It's 17-17.
All right. All right. My final thoughts on something I'm pretty excited about. It's coming up kind of soon. We haven't touched on Mike Tyson in a little while. And there's a lot of people that are coming out, including Roy Jones, that's like, that are really nervous for Roy Jones, including Roy Jones. Every time they interview Roy Jones, he's like, I originally thought it was more of an exhibition, but Mike's, definitely taking it real serious. So, that first round, I really got to try to get through that first round. And, it's going to be scary, but, he's built a lot bigger than me. And he sounds nervous. He's backpedaling. He's the reason why the fight was pushed back, no matter what anybody says. He was nervous. And now all these, like, celebrities that have watched them both train, they're like, you guys excited for this thing like I am, or what?
So excited.
Oh my gosh. I wish Joey Clax, we were in the same state, but that's the first pay-per-view. I'm like, I will pay money for this thing. I will donate to whatever cause Mike Tyson wants me to put his charity money towards to make sure his kids' college, whatever it is. I I'm in for this. I'm
I'll
ready.
actually pay.
There were some decent fights last weekend. John, did you watch any of those MMA fights?
I fell asleep during the main event, so I wouldn't call it decent.
Yeah, it was the racist against Woodley.
Mr. Sleepy.
Yeah, Sleepy Woodley needs to just go home. Like, you're done. Like, he doesn't even want to fight. They said that he's landed like 73 significant strikes in his last 80 minutes in the ring. Like, literally less than one strike a minute. Like, go away. Like, you're done. I'm ready for this Izzy fight. I'm ready for this Khabib fight next month. We need some good fights. I miss fights. That's what it comes down to. I want some good fights. There's no boxing that's good anymore. Like, UFC's been weak for the last couple months. Like,
5 days. 5 more days. Wait for it. It's coming up.
who do you got in that fight?
Israel, come on.
You got Izzy? Everyone got Izzy in that fight?
100%.
All right. Well, we made it through another episode, fellas. We got a gambling episode coming up next. We're gonna record probably Thursday when we know a little bit more. Make sure the spreads are a little closer because, as Clax has mentioned, 2-3 days makes a big difference in those spreads. Clax is the guy you want to listen to right now. Jordan, John, me, we're all a little bit behind him, but kind of like fantasy football, we're all a little bit behind Jordan right now, but we're trying to catch up.
We're tied. We're tied.
Yeah, but your team's so weak, John. We don't even care.
Yeah. John. Just so everybody knows, John's 1-1. Just so everybody knows,
1-1.
John's 1-1.
And my team's 1-2. John, what's my team's record?
Swami over there.
John, I forgot. What's my team's record?
0-2.
0-2. That's right. Who's got more points?
I don't care. Your points don't matter unless there's a tie.
Ethan.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to take care of him next week, so when you're both 1 and 2,
there we go.
be above him via points.
There we go.
There's going to be like 4 people between us probably, too, at that point at 1 and 2. So, cool. Because Clax is going to be 1 and 2 next week, too. I feel it.
I'll be there, too. It's
going to be a 1 and 2 party unless Jordan wants to steal it all and be 2 and 1. But that's all right. We'll keep you guys posted. Gambling edition. We've had about 10 times more people that have watched the gambling edition than watched this normal one. But hey, get in on it. Get some money. Win in Vegas. We help people win. If you took Clax's parlay on $1,000, you won 12 grand, folks. That's all I'm telling you. You should have listened to him. Just 4 teams. You could do it on other things too, like online gambling. They don't do it in Arizona. I can't even talk about FanDuel and all those type of places where you can put bets in. But go to Vegas. Take their money. It's more fun. Fun!